600,000 metacycles ago, I see a future, a Cybertron exhausted, depleted of natural resources, a dead world. I decide to do something about it. I do so unencumbered by emotion or sentimentality, growing new subroutines dedicated solely to the core issue of survival. Ultimately, I initiate a program dubbed Regenesis. I consider structure and form, action and reaction, cause and effect, but I neglect to factor in one fundamental universal constant: chaos. I tell no one. I already know I will be ignored. My warnings drowned out in the clamor of civil war. First I stockpile raw energon. Then I refine and distill that into a potent elemental catalyst. The end product is loaded into special warheads and launched into space. Distant planets with a specific geological profile are targeted and seeded. Then I wait. Much later, I turn proactive. Without proper regulation, the energon reaction will inevitably spiral out of control. From this point on, I am committed. There's no going back. Megatron will brand me a rogue, a traitor, but such considerations are moot. In the war I envision, one of dislocation and attrition. Resources will be paramount. Regenesis will ensure that I control the balance of power. Ultimately, I only serve one master. Pure logic.
Earth orbit.
Anyone have the faintest idea what he's doing down there?
Not a clue, Snarl. The high concentrations of energon in the atmosphere are masking his movements from our scanners. But it's gotta be connected, right? I mean, you don't just stumble across a planet with that kind of compatible profile.
To be perfectly honest, Swoop, all that matters is he's alone and vulnerable. I smell payback. Not so fast, Grimlock. Those energon levels are off the scale. We go down there without some kind of protection, we'll be in stasis lock in nanoclicks. Don't give me problems, Slag. Just solutions. We owe that one-eyed freak. We were away and clear, back in Autobot Hell territory. The energon cache was ours. But no, that clockwork processor has kicked over and spat out its conclusion. If he couldn't have it, neither would we. And Prime, he just said to forget it, but I can't. Won't. So find a way to put me down on that planet. Whatever it takes. We end this here. This planet is in flux. In many ways, it mirrors our own. As mean temperatures rise, so certain indigenous species, equipped for extremes of cold, begin to disappear. Evolution cannot keep pace with the transitional phases of the biosphere. Lacking the wit to comprehend their predicament, let alone act, they face certain extinction. Our race does too. We either evolve or die. The global dampers will regulate the ongoing geological reaction. In due course, the new ore seams will settle, become inert. All I need is time. We what? We wrap ourselves in a synthetic equivalent of mammalian flesh, grown here in the CR chambers. And in the process, we adapt our secondary configurations to resemble local life forms. No way, never. Hey, you said, whatever it takes. Fields? We don't have the resonant field harmonics. Shockwave evidently does.
But then, it's safe to assume he's had plenty of time to plan. If you want to stop him before he moves on, this is the only way.
Do it. But find us something better than these miserable specimens.
Huh, easier said than done. They're pretty much the best this planet has to offer.
Look again. Find me something with some bite. Unless the plan is to make Shockwave die laughing.
Huh. This is more promising. By the looks of things, we have ourselves an extinct species. Reptilian. Big. Here, I'll show you. Well?
Perfect!
It is done. Other seated worlds demand my attention. I signal my ship, only to find that my ship is not responding. I conclude that either has suffered some inexplicable and catastrophic technical malfunction, or it is no longer there, in which case attack is inevitable.
Dinobots! Beast mode!
My ordered, compartmentalized world explodes. I am in freefall, struggling to quantify the X and Y of this probability equation. I was expecting Megatron, or if not him personally, one of his tactical assault units, the Predacons perhaps. Instead, this, them. I attempt to apply rationality curves, logic filters, and fail. Random fragments of audio input begin to imprint on my reasoning membrane.
Meters look bad. Laughing stock.
Energon burns. Took almost a ridiculous cycle to heal up.
Oh, the careful planner you just heard us, we heard you. Never forget, never forgive.
Watched, waited, and the pattern of thought begins to emerge. The incident in Subsector 9, a raid on an Energon silo. I was dispatched to tidy up, and then it hits me. All this is about revenge. My logic centers teeters on the brink of seizure. To have risked so much, come so far, for nothing more than wounded pride. I cannot. Unable to properly process the anarchic nature of these individuals, I simply shut down my higher functions. A new primal subroutine takes root, facilitating a synthetic equivalent of rage. I evolve. With some considerable effort, I restore my neural cortex to its operational status quo. But even as my rational functions reinitialize, I experience a momentary rush of sensation, liberation, intoxication, even satisfaction. I file these away for later consideration. The battle clearly is over. Some, however, simply don't know when to quit. The effort, the sheer force of will displayed. Warning. Energon overload. Stasis lock. Imminent. Is beyond easy comprehension or classification. But in the end, all the grit and tenacity in the world must bow to the laws of probability. Clinically, I start to dissect this whole strange encounter and assess its direct implications. I consider structure and form, action and reaction, cause and effect, but I neglect to consider one fundamental, universal constant: chaos. Hey, Grimlock, we're set for the drop. You coming?
Be right there, Swoop. Just one last bit of business to take care of.
The Dinobots have a vessel in orbit, though undoubtedly the command sequences are encrypted. I will eventually crack them. All I need is time. Cybertron.
Shockwave is missing. Until I determine this is enemy action or something more, internalize, I have ordered his research facility sealed. You will conduct a full and painstaking investigation into all Shockwave's current and archived projects. I want to know exactly what he's working on. Do you understand?
Oh. Completely. Trust me, Professor Gorin. You'll want to see this sooner rather than later. Well, I think, Clive, I prefer to live a little longer and consider this find of yours at my... See? I told you. Forget the fragments we've dug up so far. This is the real deal.